You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines, episode 2 of the exhibition season, and episode 1 when we've actually won a bet in this period.
Yeah, we hit one out of the park. Was that a parlay we hit?
Yes, we hit a parlay. We had the Eagles and the Indy, yeah. The game we both agreed on, of course, didn't go our way.
No.
But I actually watched it, and since he's kind of acting like a team that expects to win, a lot of their starters were coming out earlier. I think they've established who's going to play where. Third game, preseason or not, they didn't seem to be following the template. I stand by the pick. We were just wrong.
Yeah, get used to it. And by the way, that was Marlon. I'm Boyd.
Oh.
This is Offensive Lines. And I know you were excited about us winning our bet, so I'll let it slide.
It overrode all the details.
Yes, we popped the preseason cherry, as we so eloquently named our previous podcast. It was, I didn't watch any games, but I was keeping track of the scores. I was half lit up on the weekend anyway. My nephew was over. He's moving out of town, but checking the scores, I think we won. Checked online. Hey, we won. And I was like, well, that's always a bonus because we threw out bets last week for our. Was that last week? No, that was 2 weeks ago. We did our futures bets on the over-unders, on the win totals.
Yeah, we won't know the results of those.
No, but it's nice to have some money in the coming back to offset what we bet already. So it's basically like we paid for a third of the bets that we made in the preseason now. So it's gravy. We should break even on the preseason now this year, hopefully.
At worst, $1.50 down. Roughly.
Yeah.
So, and this week, I think we both agree, is really throwing darts.
Yes,
it's
but I have some
features.
theories.
Okay. I
have some theories when we get to the games.
Beyond that, football is nearly here. Boyd's now in my fantasy auction real money keeper league. We had that auction on Sunday. I hope you had a good time, Boyd.
I did. It was a lot of fun. I've already made 2 trades. After
it's a good
the
league.
Errors of my ways.
It's a good league and it matters. Winning in this league really feels good.
Yes, I'm hoping I have the same success I've had in the other league you introduced me to, even though that's free, and a snake draft. I've won it the 2 years I've been in it, so I'm hoping I'm not expecting to win, don't get me wrong. I just want to make the playoffs this year. It's the learning year for me in auction drafts, so I just want to make the playoffs.
First year I played in this, 6 years ago, made the playoffs the first year by a bizarre tiebreaker formula, got a couple of playoffs wins, got my money back. So, it's certainly possible. And it really is a lot of fun. Again, I'm just saying I hope you enjoyed Sunday afternoon.
Oh, it was a blast. Next year I won't bring my car, though.
It's a lot more fun that way. Though your team might not look so good. You got a pretty good-looking team. I think you're going to beat me. I'm in a rebuilding year. But we're not going to turn this into a fantasy football podcast.
What? Yes,
I just wanted to
only when we play each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then it'll happen.
Which is week 2, I think.
I just wanted to welcome you to the league.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks
for getting me in. And if anybody else from the league listens to this, thanks for letting me in.
All right. So fresh off our victory, we're looking at week 4, the least predictable, I think, of all the preseason weeks. But I'm going to start us off right away here with, I like Detroit minus 4.5 over Buffalo.
See? We think alike. See, you said you didn't see anything. This is where one of my theories, well, it's not really a theory. It's Buffalo is a mess, an absolute mess. And there's that Tuel is going to be playing, and I'm not calling, that's his actual name. It's not, I'm not referring to it as a derogatory term. Tuel's starting at quarterback for him.
And he doesn't even expect to be there next week.
No, they signed Matt Leinart.
He's truly a warm body.
Well, he's playing week 1. They're starting it. The plan is for him to start week 1. So
Tuel or Leinart?
Tuel.
Oh, I thought after Leinart that Tuel was just, okay, I'll come in, I'll collect my game check. It's one game closer to the NFL pension plan.
No, they had to sign Leinart because they didn't have another backup. EJ Manuel, they don't know if he's going to be able to play. So Manuel and Cobb are both out.
And I think Cobb's down for the count, which is a tasteless joke that I didn't realize till it came out of my mouth. Hate to see a concussion thing. He wasn't any good. That doesn't matter. I don't like seeing guys go out with brain injuries.
No. But I give credit to Andy Reid for getting what he got for Philly by making Cobb look like he was a legitimate NFL quarterback in the couple of games he played him, and then he just sat him on the bench. I was like, no, I'm not ruining what I created here. I've got an illusion that he's good. It's like that Flynn.
He created a junk bond.
Yeah, same with Matt Flynn.
Essentially, it's like, oh, look at what these 3 properties of this guy are worth. You don't get all the junk real estate deals in with it. Hadn't thought of it like that before. That's just... No,
it's he used them and he produced in those couple of games, and he's like, well, I can't let them know what I see every week in practice, so we'll just keep his value up. Even though Roger Cromartie's gone already from Philly, it was still they got assets from Arizona that they wouldn't have got otherwise for a backup quarterback that, if it wasn't for the concussion, would have played himself out of the league after this year probably.
Yeah, he was a practice squad player, and he's concussion prone, which we're not delighting in that. We don't, but yeah, I truly believe it's over for Cobb.
Well, that's so. According to all the reports, I didn't even see the hit. Apparently, it was a knee to the back of the head. Did you see the hit?
No, I haven't seen the hit.
Not even I haven't seen a YouTube video of it yet. And usually somebody has it up when something like this happens. But
I tend not to look at injury YouTubes. I mean,
well, no, I wasn't looking for it. I'm just saying it's usually on the sites I look at every day. Somebody usually has it posted, but.
Well, a lot of those concussions, too, when you look at them, they don't seem like much. Half the time, it's the head bouncing off the turf that really gives guys grief.
Well, the one thing I was glad is that it wasn't somebody launching themselves at him and putting a helmet in his chin. That caught, like, it wasn't a malicious hit.
It wasn't like they used to do to Brett Favre every game until his retirement.
Yeah.
Launch the crown into his chin strap.
Oh, yeah, Aikman.
Aikman, Young, another great example.
Well, you'll never see a quarterback with a bloody chin unless the other guy's getting thrown out.
Yeah, and that is progress. I mean,
yeah, but okay, where are the defensive players supposed to hit now? Because now they're saying they're going to outlaw hits below the knee. So you got between the thigh and the rib cage to hit somebody.
I think a better way to approach this rule would be quite simply, if the defender can see his target, it's a legal hit. Keep their faces up. This is what used to get taught in football.
No, I know, but what are you supposed to do? If I can see him, I could put my face mask right in his chin.
And so build better face masks, build better mouth guards, do all that. If you put face mask to face mask, you're not giving anyone a concussion.
No, but if you can't hit
if
below
the guy
knee,
ducks his head down into a knee, uses the helmet has become a weapon.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, where are they going to be able to hit? If you can't hit below the knee and you can't hit above the shoulder...
Well, that's because they're approaching this by body parts instead of approaching it by technique.
Yeah, but you can't change the technique if the players aren't willing to change. Because you hear it all the time, the players, it's not football anymore. Well, you can't sue and say it's not football anymore. It's one or the other.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a total disconnect there, but I think this is a debate for another time.
Yes.
I think we're gambling.
We like Detroit. I like Detroit. Well, Buffalo just is a mess. They're starting their third-string quarterback, or somebody that probably wouldn't have even made the team. And even if Detroit plays their backups and third-stringers, I think they beat Buffalo. Because they're not going to risk C.J. Spiller, because he's going to get... I wouldn't be surprised if Spiller and Jackson, if they have decent days, get over 100 yards in their first game against New England. Because do you honestly think they're going to let this guy throw? Unless it's third down?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't disagree. And you know me, I know he's not one of these super specimens, but I'm a big fan of Fred Jackson as a general rule. Why would Buffalo, at this point, they have to feel completely backed into the corner? I wouldn't let anyone on the field who even legitimately has a chance to make the team.
No, and that's why I like Detroit.
Yeah.
Buffalo can't risk losing any skill. Stevie Johnson's not going to play. It's going to be practice squad guys and guys that are going to be cut.
4.5 is big, but
I think Detroit's backups are better than Buffalo starters.
And the worst thing about Detroit by far is their secondary, and I can't see Buffalo, no matter who it is, successfully throwing on anyone.
Watch, you know what? These are the games that usually Buffalo will win 38-7. 3 long touchdown passes in there.
Yeah, it'll be blown tackles. Guys will launch themselves for the interception, trying to make the practice squad, and leave a guy with nothing but, 60 yards to the end zone to romp.
All right. So, okay, we're taking Detroit there. We'll decide where we're I don't know if I like them as a parlay, but...
Yeah, we agree on that game, Detroit. Though.
Yeah.
You're up.
Now, the game I want to bring in, Philadelphia -4.5 at the Jets.
Fuck. We are in total agreement here today. Next game I had circled.
Well...
For the same reason. I mean, just hit rewind... Change the team names, and that's our argument, I think, for this game.
Yeah, well, Sanchez is out. Smith is out. Who is their third-string quarterback? Clemens is in St. Louis. Who the hell do they have as third string?
I saw it today, and the name went right out of my head.
So that tells you something right there. I think Foles will play quite a bit for Philly. They're back up to Vic. Vic might see a series.
Well, and this is my argument from last week, which worked for us on Philly, is this is an entirely new and bizarre offense. There's still things to work on.
Yeah.
I think Philly is one of these teams that is treating this preseason exhibition bullshit with some degree of seriousness.
Well, and I have to give you credit, too, for last week. I wanted to bet against the Jets, and you said no, and they ended up winning the game. So, kudos, my friend.
Oh, no, it was good teamwork effort last year. It's just, I knew that for some reason that game would matter to Ryan a lot more than it did to Coughlin.
Yeah, there's some good fights.
And it was proven. I mean, let's just talk briefly about that. So they bring in Geno Smith. He's appalling. He takes an Orlovsky safety. Just walks out of the back of his own end zone, which is always delightful. More delightful when it's a Jet player doing it. So then, about 11 minutes in, they decide to bring in Sanchez for inexplicable reasons. Except that, as I said, Ryan wants to win this game as his last hurrah. There's a great GIF of when Sanchez comes out to warm up, two guys throwing footballs. So he's trying to... He gets hit by both of them simultaneously, so he looks like the worst drunken juggler you've ever seen. It's beautiful. And then he keeps Sanchez in for 11 minutes in the fourth until the injury. Just inexplicable.
With playing with second and third stringers.
Yeah, we are going to be fading the Jets a lot this year. I mean, I know Vegas is going to react. Basically, any opponent of the Jets is going to be laying 10.5 points this year. It could be the Raiders.
It won't be that much. It won't be
the Raiders will probably lay 8.5 to the Jets if they meet.
3, 4. New England's only laying 10.5 against Buffalo. The Jets will get more respect than that.
But the Jets are...
They're going to be bad.
You thought it would be bad, but this is an absolute clown show. It's just ridiculous.
Well, don't you know, though, their defense is going to be good because he's Rex Ryan. That's what he does.
Well, you know what? He may have created too much baggage like his dad to even get a job as a defensive coordinator where he was excellent.
Oh, he'll get a D coordinator job again. He'll never head coach.
Well, I
again.
guess if his brother got a D coordinator job, he can.
After that Dallas debacle, yeah. But no, he might get another head coaching job because he did go to 2 AFC championship games his first 2 years.
I kind of like Rex Ryan, too.
I do, too, but he's arrogant, but the players all love him, so that he'll get another job.
He's amusing. As a fan, I want him to stay around in the league, but I think Philly is going to tear them apart.
Oh, I hope so. But I think so too. They're just a mess. Like no receivers. Santonio Holmes may not even play in the opener. He's not playing tomorrow. They have no one. I think Kellen Winslow's their tight end. When's he been relevant?
Was that a joke, or are you actually saying something you believe?
And Winslow is their tight end, isn't he? Wow.
I did not know that. I thought Winslow had been retired for 2 years.
No. He's their tight end. Last I checked. So
well, that bodes well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some third-string quarterback we can't remember the name of. So
now again, in the fourth game of the preseason, the fact that we know none of the names doesn't mean that much. But
no, it's another guy. They had the quarterback from Alabama from a couple of years ago is also hurt. It's another guy. It's not even their third string.
Another guy. It's another guy.
Yeah, it's a third stringer or fourth stringer guy that's going to get cut. So, and here I prove again that I have no mind. I bring up, it's that guy from Alabama. Thanks.
Well, it was college.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for interjecting that into the conversation and showing what a tool you are again. Jesus. Now I got to look it up. Because I'm not leaving that hang again.
I think we agree that, in the fourth season of the preseason, or the fourth game of the preseason, we like Philly.
Yes. This NFL net. Do not go to the NFL site for looking up anything.
Stats or info? No.
No, because they post the crap. Greg McElroy was the third stringer who is hurt. They're starting Phil Simms offspring.
Chris Sims?
Matt. It's another son.
Wasn't there a Chris in there who got his
Yeah,
spleen taken out?
Yeah, in Tampa. And he was with the Titans for a while, Denver. But he's retired. But Matt Sims is starting for him tomorrow.
Okay. Well, moving on.
What's your next game?
I'm going a little off the board here in that I like Tampa Bay +2 at home against Washington. Now, my reasons are, with all the RG3 communication, and I'm betting against a guy who I generally like in the preseason, Shanahan. The best record of any coach in the NFL in the preseason. Period. By far. It seems to matter to him. But I kind of like Tampa Bay and their backups as a general rule. I think they're a little bit of a sleeper team this year. A lot of it gets down to Josh Freeman, but they've got good O-line, they've got decent O-line depth, and they're a home field underdog.
Yeah, I don't mind the pick too much. The only thing I'll say is I like Washington's backup quarterback better. But I don't know how much he's going to... Well, he's got to play some. Because they're not going to... Well, they could play their fourth-string quarterback, too. Which, who the hell knows who that is.
Which they might. Again, Shanahan reacts to media. Like, occasionally he goes all Nixon on it and just refuses to do it. But after the playoff thing where he overplayed RG3, I think really he thinks his preseason is done. What decisions does he have to make on this team?
No, you're right. It's totally true, and that's where I'm looking for my next game, is basically the same kind of logic.
Like, I'm not thrilled by this game. It's week 4 preseason. You know, it intrigued me because I do think Tampa Bay is a better team than a lot of people are giving them credit for.
See, I think the opposite. I think they're going to struggle.
Hey, it won't break my heart if we move away from that.
Okay, we might have to throw this game out.
Okay, well, we've had 2 consensus. We're already...
No, but they're going to play Kirk Cousins for a series or 2 to start. They have Rex Grossman and Pat White.
Grossman still.
Did I know? But against the third stringers?
Oh, yeah, no, and actually, that's a really good point.
And Pat White.
I did not realize that Rex Grossman was still there because the guy's played in the Super Bowl. For all you can say, there are a lot worse people than Rex Grossman on the planet.
Yeah, Dieter Brock played in a Super Bowl. And he wasn't great in L.A. So I think the quarterback depth
changes this. All right, let's stroke that off the list.
Okay. I knew there was a reason. It's just quarterback play against third, fourth strings if you've had any. I don't even know if Grossman's going to play. Pat White should be able to beat them just the way he can run. So
yeah, but it's game speed. Like, point taken. I think you're correct on that.
Because they're going to get him some work, even if he is a third stringer. But if he plays a quarter and a half, and they give White the other quarter and a half, and Cousins plays a quarter or half a quarter, and Grossman a quarter, and White too, I think they roll in that game.
Well, yeah, and I think you're right too. They have to give Grossman a quarter because otherwise, why waste a roster spot? Let's see what one more year has done for this guy. Is he worth $485,000 or whatever?
Well, I read a report that said the Redskins' plan is to keep Grossman inactive all year, but they won't do that if Cousins struggles. They got to keep him around as insurance. Because he knows the system. He's been there for the whole time Shanahan's been there. So they're going to keep him around as insurance in case Cousins goes down or struggles. in a backup role. And RG3, how, like, is he fragile? Is he not? So Grossman should probably play quite a bit. So,
and you got to take you seriously. You have to take a look at Grossman and see where he's at. No,
yeah, but they're keeping him. They're keeping.
You really think so?
They're keeping him. They're not keeping Pat White as the third string quarterback.
No, they could only keep two though.
They won't.
They could choose to keep two.
No, because you have two. You're not going to go with 2 second-year quarterbacks. Even though Cousins was the backup last year.
Yeah.
I can't see them this year thinking they're a playoff team.
And being that confident in RG3's ability to do 16.
Yeah, even if you want Cousins as your backup, you're still got to have somebody in case Griffin goes down that knows the system. You're not going to bring in some guy off the street if Cousins struggles. At least you got Grossman, who's not a great quarterback, but he's proven he can win in the league in the right situation. So he's going nowhere.
Okay.
They're not going to have their season ruined if RG3 goes down and Cousins struggles. At least Grossman would give them a chance to win with Alfred Morris.
I'd give him some work in there, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so, you blew me out of the water on that one, bud. You're up.
Okay, I like the New York Giants on the road +1 at New England. For the same reason we should have went with Detroit last week. Because we brought it up in the podcast. If there's a team that doesn't do anything that gives no credence to preseason games, it's New England. They don't care. They just got blown out in Detroit. Didn't put up much of a fight. The old line looked horrible. Brady was getting pressured. He's not even going to play. Or he says he's going to play, but what, a series? I'm just praying Amendola doesn't get hurt. But I like New England or the Giants in this game just for the simple fact that Belichick usually has his roster set by now. It's just going to be guys that are going to get cut. He might put Brady in for a series in the first string offense just for a little rhythm against first team defense, but that'll be it. So I like the Giants and I like them on the money line.
And we're getting a point.
Well, no,
the money line at $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when I printed off these sheets, the money line was available this week.
Yeah, I like the money line on this one.
That's a pretty good pick.
Because New England doesn't care. Could give two shits. So I think we just take that on the whole Belichickian don't care about the preseason. And we'll move on. He's already made his cuts. I would almost guarantee it. They know who they're cutting. They just need to keep these guys around to protect the guys that are going to play at the start of the year.
And he's such a vicious little badger that he would, whereas some coaches will use it to showcase players for other teams, Belichick wouldn't do that.
Well, he may be, because he's letting the second and third stringers are going to play the whole game. So if you perform and they've already decided they're going to cut you, you might get picked up. But most of these guys that are still left, who's picking them up? They've already made up their mind for the most part of who they're going to keep, who's going to be on the active roster, and who's getting moved to the practice squad. There's not a lot of surprises coming out of week 4.
No.
The guys you saw playing last week for 2 quarters, that's who's playing. And the guys that came after that, those are the backups. Now, depending on how much O-line depth you want to keep or where you're stronger at, you may keep more DBs or wherever you're strong at, you're going to keep those guys. But most of the cuts have already been made. They just haven't been told yet because they have to continue with this facade that these are actual games. So these guys get to collect another $600 check for a week's worth of training camp, and then they get cut.
Wow. Yeah, and if they play in the game, they get a week towards the NFL pension plan.
Yeah. But when you're getting cut, most of these guys won't see an NFL locker.
No, but when you only need like 18 total games, it matters to a lot of guys.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have any other game? That was my 3. I had Detroit.
Yeah, no, I've got nothing else.
The Giants, and what was the other one? Philly we had.
Yeah.
Now, do we want
I think our path is clear here.
We parlay Detroit and Philly?
And take the Giants
and
on the
single
money.
bet. Yeah. Wow. That was easy. I had to convince you on parlay last week. This was easy.
Well, once we had the Giants on the money line at a nice price, that made it easier. Last week we had no money lines that we could go to.
No. Okay, so Detroit minus 4.5 at Buffalo and Philly minus 4.5 at the Jets.
2 road teams at 4.5.
$5 bet pays $18.22 again. Same as last week.
Lucky number. Yeah, because that matters.
Yeah, I would love to hit 2 parlays in the preseason. Then we could actually brag that we actually know something.
Not in the preseason. We know we
No,
don't.
it's harder in the preseason. That's what I'm saying. It was more of a facetious remark. Okay,
okay. Yeah, I missed your sarcasm. Sorry.
Yeah, so the $5 bet, Giants money line plus 100, $5 bet pays $10. Done. So I like those picks, actually, and surprisingly, I only went through and saw those 3 games, and you picked 2 out of the 3.
Well, yeah, and I'm a little surprised I missed the Giants. But I wasn't looking at the money line. At a certain point, I was just looking for home dogs. Because it's week 4. I mean...
Yeah.
Well, I was looking for bad teams that might want to win. I was playing it from a psychological angle.
Well, that's what led me to the Giants against New England. Because we touched, like I said before, we touched on that Patriot proclivity to just fucking lay down in the preseason.
Well, you took it from the reverse. I was looking for bad teams that want to win. You kind of looked for good teams that don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, or teams that were really fucked up, like the Bills and the Jets.
Oh, yeah. Well, those two were...
Yeah, I think a blind squirrel could have picked those ones out, but that's... But I think we've touched on everything I wanted to say this week.
Yeah.
You got any other topics that you want to add? I think we're pushing half an hour right now, which is about right for a preseason pod.
Yeah, we're just a little bit past. I think we've laid some bets. We're good to go.
All right. So if you want to check out the podcast, search iTunes Offensive Lines. Please subscribe. It helps with our ranking. If you want to listen to it on our website, go to offensivelines.ca. You can download it there or listen to it on the embedded player. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to the site. New podcasts are released. You can follow us on Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to contact the show, email us at offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. And that was Offensive Lines.
Shit. Give me a second here, buddy.
Degenerate fucking gambler.